When we hear the word loneliness, a million things pop into our mind. But the end result is usually we want to flee from that conversation. We don't want to talk about it. Nobody likes talking about being lonely, especially in society, in a world where we're more connected now more than ever, but yet people seem to be lonelier now more than ever. So we're going to talk about it today. And I feel like there's 3 different types of loneliness. The first one is physical. We all know what that is. It's I'm lonely because I'm physically not with anyone, not around anyone. That's what we're dealing with COVID-19 right now. Understood. But then there's the second one, and it's called social loneliness, or at least that's what I call it. And this is where you're the life of the party. You have your life together, everything's going right for you, you got friends, you're posting on the gram, you're doing your thing, you got it all going on, but yet when it's just you at night, it's just you staring at that ceiling, you feel like you have to take this mask off. And you feel like you're on the outside looking in, even though everyone thinks you have yourself together. That's the second type of being lonely. And then the third type is something that I like to call all-consuming loneliness. And this is tough. This is that type where you feel it in your bones. And it doesn't matter what you do, who you talk to, or where you're at in your life, that loneliness, it stalks you every second and never leaves you alone. It's always right here waiting to just grasp you all over again. But regardless of whatever type of loneliness you're dealing with, it comes in like a cloud, a low-bearing fog, and it just consumes everything, man, everything. And it affects every aspect of your life. And loneliness, really what it does, it skews our judgment. And it takes us to places and puts people in our lives that we know aren't good for us. But at the same time, we say, hey, anything's gotta be better than being stuck in this dark place. Anything has to be better. So we really look to grab the first thing that promises to take the loneliness away from us. It's kind of like we're grabbing for that get out of jail free card. Say, I can't do this, I'm just gonna take this, I don't care where I go. And because of this, I think a lot of us spend our lives running away from being lonely. And we fill that gap with people, or substances, or past memories. Anything except to dive right into those lonely feelings. And that's understood. It's difficult and it doesn't feel good. But as if that wasn't enough, loneliness likes to whisper into your ear. And it'll say, hey, you're the only one who's ever dealt with this. You're the only one going through this. Look how happy everybody else is. You really must be a loser. There's something wrong with you. You're nothing. It's always gonna be this way for you. You're always gonna be on the outside looking in. It lies to us. But as deviant and inhumane and insidious as this force is, there are some things in this life that we cannot discover about ourselves or about life until we square up and face loneliness head on and dive right into it. And oh my goodness, this is so much easier said than done. But when we do this, of course that fog comes around and consumes us, but wait a minute. Simultaneously, something else is going on. Something else we can't really see. And when we dive into those feelings of lonely, we're chipping away at that outer piece of us. That outer shell, so to speak, that's made up of fear. That outer shell that's made up of anxiety or the things we don't like about ourselves. We're addressing that because we're lonely, so we have no choice but to dive into it. And we keep chipping away at these things, and the more that we chip away at these things, the more we start to see this gold that lies within us. And it's shimmering so bright, it's hard for us to even see or handle because we're so used to the darkness. And yet, it scares us. But if we could stay in that loneliness just a little bit longer, and refrain from grabbing that get out of jail free card, then we can not only discover that gold within us, but we can take it and use it to help somebody else. And to be a little bit of light for someone else. But make no mistake, this is one of the hardest things that any human who's ever walked the face of this earth has had to do. It is so hard, but it is so worth it. It is so incredibly worth it. And so although the fact that it's difficult, what do we know? Oh yeah, that's right, that the darker the background, the brighter the light is going to shine. And although being lonely is one of the worst feelings in the world, it's gotta be top 10, at the same time, there is nothing better in this world than wrestling with and defeating and being able to realize, wow, I can handle anything that comes into my life and overcome it and become better because of it. So thank you guys so much for listening to me today. I hope that you were able to take just a small bit from what I said and apply it to your own lives. And I just ask that you share this video with somebody you know that might be struggling with being lonely right now, and let them know that it does not last, and that you will get through it, and that you can be a survivor of it, and it doesn't have to define you. So thank you so much, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and stay safe.